I thought I had a friend at work. I was wrong. He turned vulgar, creepy, and dangerous, so I decided I wouldn't just survive. I'd make sure he fell. I'm Alex Carter, 29, from Denver, Colorado. I work for an outsourcing company that sends employees to different offices. My first placement was at a place I'll call Prime Corp. Older crowd, good mentors, tough work, but fair. That's where I met Bob. He was quiet, awkward, polite enough. During the pandemic, we all went remote, and loneliness hit me hard. So when Bob messaged me late one night asking a simple work question, I was glad to chat. We started talking regularly. Memes, jokes, even life advice. He was older, late 40s, and sometimes said weird stuff. But I thought it was just a generational difference. I let it go. When offices reopened after layoffs, they transferred both of us to a new client. Next wave. Whole different vibe, young, loud, chaotic. I felt out of place at first. Bob, though, seemed thrilled. Too thrilled. The quiet guy I knew vanished. Bob became loud, sleazy, trying to charm every woman. He bragged about disgusting things. Rich man stories, servants, women he'd conquered. People cringed but stayed silent, because HR and harassment reporting are still shaky where we are. Then he turned his jokes on me. Fat jokes, acne jokes, dating jokes. I brushed it off, but it stung. Then came the two hits that flipped everything. First, one of my gay coworkers pulled me aside, shaking. He showed me Bob's private messages, explicit, vulgar, predatory. I was sick to my stomach, and a week later, after another round of jokes at my expense, Bob smirked and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Relax. I'll just keep insulting him until he kills himself." The room went silent. People glared but didn't speak. I laughed weakly just to end it, but inside something broke. That was the moment I stopped forgiving and started planning. And then came the spark that lit the fuse. It was late one night. Most of the team had already gone home. I was packing up when I heard a sharp voice echo down the hallway, followed by the slam of a door. I stepped out and saw Bob standing far too close to Mia, one of our youngest hires. She was pressed against the wall, clutching her laptop to her chest like a shield. His voice was low but full of threat. I couldn't hear every word, but I caught her whisper, trembling. "Please. Just let me pass." Something in me snapped. "Everything okay?" I asked, louder than I intended. Bob jerked back, forced a laugh, muttered something about just joking, and stalked away, but not before shooting me a look that said, "Stay out of this." Mia's face was pale. "Thank you," she whispered, then rushed to the elevator, shaking. Later that night, she texted me, "Don't report it. HR won't care. I just want to forget it happened. I didn't sleep." The image of her pinned to that wall replayed over and over. Up until then, I'd only wanted Bob to leave me alone. But that night, my anger turned into resolve. He wasn't just insulting me. He was hurting people and counting on fear to protect him. That was when I stopped surviving and started preparing to end this. I didn't blow up or go to HR. The system rarely protects you. Instead, I played it smart. Over time, I'd built quiet trust across teams by helping with work and treating people decently. I used that network. I started calmly sharing what Bob really was, how he bullied, how women avoided him, how he manipulated me. Not gossip, facts. His mask cracked. Conversations died when he showed up. The women he'd targeted told him to back off. Even the people who once laughed at his jokes shut him down. He tried to buy his way back in, literally. On his birthday, he ordered pizza for everyone. People said thanks politely, then kept working. A month later, when it was my birthday, my team surprised me with cake and decorations. Bob stood in the corner alone. The humiliation hit him hard. He begged our manager, Rose, one of the kindest bosses I've had, to move him to night shift. He said it was for focus. Really, he just wanted to hide. She let him. I figured my work was done, but I noticed something. Bob was supposedly working nights, but every morning, he was missing during shift handover. The night shift crew got cagey if I asked. My gut said he wasn't showing up at all. Maybe working from home illegally, maybe barely working. One day when he randomly popped into the office, I tested him. "Hey, rare sighting," I said casually. "Night shift getting boring working from home?" His face drained. "Who told you?" He blurted. No one had told me, but his reaction told me everything. I didn't want to look like a snitch, so I waited for the right opening. It came on a random afternoon. Our main app crashed hard, blocking everyone's work. I reported it to Rose. She started digging through system logs and frowned. I leaned in and said lightly, Weird, Bob's account does some odd stuff too. Might want to check. She dug deeper. I watched her face change from curious to furious. She found proof Bob had been faking presence, breaking security, and barely doing his job while cashing full pay. Rose, usually patient and soft, turned ice cold. She called Bob. I couldn't hear every word, but her voice was sharp. His was panicked. She gave him one chance. Show up and prove he'd worked or HR would know. He promised. He didn't show. Not that night, not the next. By morning, the office buzzed with whispers. No one knew the details, but everyone knew something was happening. Bob turned up for a few awkward days, pale and quiet, then vanished. We found out later HR forced him to resign. No severance, no reference, career over. The man who humiliated, threatened, and harassed was gone. I didn't celebrate loudly, but when Rose stopped by my desk later and said, "Thanks for pushing me to look closer, you protected people," I felt proud. My revenge wasn't rage, it was precision. Bob dug his own grave. I just showed where to look. A few months later, our division downsized. I survived thanks to Rose's recommendation. She told me, "You're not just good at your job, you made this place safer." That meant more than any title or raise. Sometimes I think about Bob, how he went from quiet coworker to predator. Maybe he always was that way and just hid it until he felt safe. But I've stopped caring. What matters is this. You don't have to scream to end cruelty. You don't have to match a bully's nastiness. Build quiet credibility. Earn respect. And when the moment comes, use it. One small push at the right time can topple an entire fake empire. I'm not sorry. Bob tried to break me, humiliate me until I'd disappear. But I didn't disappear. I watched, I waited. I turned his own rod against him. When HR forced him to walk out, head down, box in hand, no applause followed, only silence. The same silence he once weaponized swallowed him whole. Doors slammed quietly behind him. His name vanished from the system by the end of the day. I stayed at my desk, calm, focused. People nodded with something new in their eyes, respect, maybe relief. Rose stopped by later and said quietly, "You made this place safer." That meant more than any title or bonus ever could. Bob vanished from the industry. Word spreads fast when you've been exposed. The man who once strutted and sneered is now just a warning whispered in break rooms. I didn't burn bridges. I built better ones. I didn't scream, I aimed. And when it counted, I hit exactly where it hurt. The truth. That's the thing about people like Bob. They build their empires on fear and silence. Take those away, and the whole structure falls. So if you've ever been cornered by someone toxic, remember, patience isn't weakness. It's quiet power. Build allies, hold your ground, and when the right moment comes, strike with facts so sharp they can't stand back up. Bob thought he owned the room. Now the room doesn't even remember his name. If this story hit you, like the video, share it with someone who needs strength today, and subscribe for more real stories of standing up, fighting back, and reclaiming your power.